I want to take you on a journey that completely reshaped my understanding of existence. A journey that began on a seemingly ordinary day, yet ended in a revelation that still echoes in my soul. It was March 15th, 2012, when my life was suddenly suspended in an instant. I was in a car accident, a horrific collision that left my body battered and my heart pounding in disbelief. In those chaotic, heart-stopping moments, I experienced something that defies all explanation, a near-death experience that transformed everything I thought I knew about life and faith. Before we delve deeper into the revelations that changed my life, I need to ask you something vital. If you believe in the transformative power of faith and the promise of eternal redemption, please subscribe to this channel. Many watch these stories, yet only a few take the step to truly join our community of seekers. By subscribing and turning on notifications, you ensure that you never miss a life-altering message. Messages that could illuminate your path and guide you toward salvation. This isn't just another video. It's a call to awaken your soul and embrace the divine truth that awaits beyond our mortal struggles. Stay with me as we explore the mysteries of the spiritual realm, the significance of that sacred mark, and the ultimate message of unconditional love and redemption through Jesus Christ. In the blink of an eye, as metal crumpled and glass shattered around me, I felt an undeniable pull away from the physical world. I remember thinking it was as if I had slipped off a heavy coat, leaving behind the weight of my body and the pain of my mortal limitations. Amid the turmoil of screeching tires and desperate cries, I sensed an inner calm, an inexplicable invitation to step beyond the veil of earthly existence. This wasn't simply the end. It was the beginning of something extraordinary, a conscious projection of my very being into realms I had never imagined. I found myself drifting in a space that defied logic, a realm where the usual boundaries of time and space blurred into insignificance. Instead of the overwhelming darkness I had expected, I was greeted by an ethereal radiance. There was a light at the end of the tunnel, so powerful and yet so gentle that it washed over me with an intensity that defied description. The colors I witnessed were beyond the familiar spectrum, each hue resonating with a frequency that touched the deepest parts of my soul. In that moment, I understood that I was not merely witnessing a transition. I was embarking on a profound journey into the spiritual realm. Floating there, untethered from my physical form, I felt as if I were part of an immense and intricate tapestry of existence. Every sensation, every emotion, was magnified to an overwhelming clarity. The experience felt like a pure consciousness projection, a glimpse of life after death, where the true essence of our being is laid bare. I encountered a presence that exuded unconditional love, an energy so warm and inviting that it dissolved every ounce of fear and uncertainty I carried. This love was not bound by the constraints of time or earthly judgment. It was absolute, infinite, and transformative. As I drifted further into this luminous expanse, I began to perceive forms that defied the conventional images of angels and saints. These beings were not adorned with wings or halos. Instead, they were composed of pure energy, shimmering with a light that pulsated with kindness and empathy. They communicated not with words, but with feelings, gentle pulses of emotion that conveyed messages of connection, healing, and hope. In their silent guidance, I sensed an invitation to understand the intricate network of souls, each interconnected by a thread of compassion and care. It became clear that every action, every word spoken in our earthly lives rippled outwards, touching lives in ways we can scarcely imagine. Even as I observed the chaotic remnants of my accident from a distance, I was aware of an underlying order, a divine orchestration at work. It was as if the universe had pressed pause, offering me a chance to witness the true nature of existence, a revelation that nothing happens by chance, and that every moment is a stepping stone towards a greater purpose. The experience challenged everything I had ever believed about prayer and worship. I realized that true prayer is not a mechanical recitation of words or an obligatory ritual, but an alignment of one's heart with the divine will, a surrender to the mysterious flow of grace that underpins our very being. In that transcendent state, I sensed a pull, an irresistible urge to understand, to explore, and to embrace this newfound reality. I felt drawn to the idea that life is far more expansive than our earthly limitations, that there is a vast, unseen world waiting just beyond the confines of our physical senses. This was not merely an abstract notion. It was a palpable, heart-stirring truth that I could feel in every fiber of my being. The overwhelming presence of unconditional love filled every crevice of my soul, reassuring me that I was not alone, that I was a cherished part of an eternal tapestry woven by divine hands. And so, as I floated there between worlds, I made a silent vow to never take life for granted, to cherish every moment, and to seek out the true meaning behind each heartbeat. I knew that this near-death experience was not just a brush with mortality, but a call to awaken to a deeper, more authentic relationship with the divine. In that moment, as I hovered between life and death, I understood that the journey I had embarked on was only the beginning, a prelude to an even greater revelation about the nature of prayer, the power of faith, and the undeniable reality of a life after death. As I delved deeper into that otherworldly space, I experienced what can only be described as a life review unlike any earthly judgment. It wasn't a harsh reckoning, but rather a panoramic unfolding of every moment I had lived, a vivid tapestry of choices, words, and deeds. I witnessed every act of kindness I'd ever offered, each smile, every sincere word spoken in moments of pure compassion. Simultaneously, I also observed the shadows of my missteps, the instances where harsh words or actions caused unseen ripples of pain. Yet amid it all, there was no condemnation, only the overwhelming embrace of unconditional love that filled every crevice of my being. This was not a punitive review, but an invitation to understand the interconnectedness of our lives, a reminder that each thought and action reverberates throughout the spiritual realm. In that moment, I realized that every facet of our existence, whether joyous or sorrowful, is a stepping stone toward growth and redemption. Floating in that expansive, luminescent space, I became aware of something far more profound, the true nature of prayer. For so long, I had clung to the familiar cadence of recited prayers, the rote utterances that had become a comfort in my daily life. But here, in the purity of this near-death experience, I understood that prayer was not a mere ritual or habitual expression. It was an intimate dialogue with the divine. It was a consciousness projection that transcended spoken language, where the heart and soul communicated directly with God. I recalled the words of Jesus in John 14:6, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." In that instant, his message was not just a comforting promise, but a clarion call to abandon superficial gestures and embrace a prayer that is raw, honest, and transformative. The experience deepened further as I encountered a presence that defied all earthly descriptions, a presence that radiated a light at the end of the tunnel so intense it seemed to erase all the pain and confusion of my mortal existence. This was not the light of fleeting hope, but a divine illumination that underscored the eternal truth of a life after death. As I journeyed through this sacred expanse, I was guided by beings whose very essence was pure energy and love. They appeared not as the stereotypical angels with delicate wings, but as radiant manifestations of compassion, their silent communication filled with a profound empathy that resonated deep within me. It felt as though every fiber of my being was bathed in the warmth of unconditional love, a love that beckoned me to understand that our souls are intrinsically linked in ways we can scarcely fathom. In that transcendent state, I began to see the intricate patterns of my life laid out before me. There were moments of unbridled joy and unexpected sorrow, each serving as a testament to the lessons I had learned and the potential for redemption that still awaited. This life review, far from being a ledger of sins, was a compassionate revelation of the beauty and fragility of human existence. It underscored the idea that while we may falter, the divine offers us endless opportunities for renewal and transformation, a truth that reverberates with the promise of salvation. It was at this juncture that the silence was broken by a presence so profound, so enveloped in unconditional love that I could hardly believe my senses. In a moment of pure clarity, I came face to face with God. His presence was both vast and intimately personal, a paradox that challenged every notion of what I thought was possible. There was no need for words, for his message was conveyed through an overwhelming surge of truth and love. I felt my entire being stripped bare, yet instead of fear, I was filled with a serene acceptance that dissolved every ounce of doubt and regret. This encounter was not just a meeting, it was an initiation into a deeper understanding of what it truly means to be alive, to be loved, and to be eternally connected. Amidst the luminous glow of that sacred moment, I was then granted a vision, a window into history that revealed Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Unlike the serene images painted in centuries of art, I saw the raw agony etched on his face, the weight of human sin pressing upon him as he surrendered completely to God's will. His prayer was not a rehearsed phrase, but a heartfelt expression of total submission, a living embodiment of the truth that true prayer requires us to relinquish our own desires in favor of divine purpose. Witnessing this, I realized that the moment of surrender, of allowing the divine to work through us, is the very essence of genuine prayer. Every detail of this profound vision ignited within me an unquenchable thirst for a transformed life, a life where every prayer is a step toward deeper communion with God, where every act is imbued with the light of eternal hope. And as I stood at the crossroads of this celestial revelation, I knew that my journey was far from over. Instead, it was a call to return to the world with a mission, to share the message of true prayer, to guide others away from the empty recitations of habit and towards a vibrant, life-affirming connection with the divine. In that ineffable moment, suspended between life and death, I found myself face to face with the divine in a way that shattered every preconceived notion of reality. There, in the midst of an overwhelming consciousness projection, I gathered the courage to ask the question that had been echoing in my heart: was Jesus your son? The reply was both simple and earth-shattering. He is my heart, given for you. Those words resonated deep within me, a revelation of such pure, unconditional love that they instantly redefined my entire understanding of the spiritual realm and life after death. I recall the surge of radiant energy that swept over me immediately after his answer, a brilliant, all-encompassing warmth that reminded me of the light at the end of the tunnel, beckoning me to move forward even in the darkest of times. In that sacred space, every doubt and fear melted away, replaced by an overwhelming sense of divine purpose. It was as if the boundaries between my soul and the infinite had dissolved, leaving only the truth of God's mercy and the promise of eternal redemption. The experience felt like a divine reawakening, a call to rediscover the very essence of prayer. No longer was prayer merely a series of words or a routine recitation. It had become a vibrant, heartfelt conversation with the Creator, a communion that transcended language and ritual. I remembered the words of Jesus from John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. But now, his message carried a deeper, almost ineffable weight. It was not just a guide for salvation, but an invitation to a profound intimacy with the divine, an intimacy that could only be experienced by those who truly dared to open their hearts. The vision of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane that followed this encounter remains one of the most vivid impressions of my near-death experience. I saw him standing alone amid the ancient olive trees, his face a tapestry of sorrow and resolute determination. The agony in his eyes was palpable, a raw testament to the human cost of sin and the immeasurable depth of his sacrifice. As he uttered his silent prayer, "Not my will, but yours be done," I felt the weight of every human struggle, every moment of despair, and every spark of hope. It was a prayer not merely spoken, but lived, echoing through the corridors of time as a beacon for all souls in search of truth. That moment underscored for me the essence of genuine prayer, a complete surrender of the self, a relinquishing of ego in exchange for divine guidance. It was a transformational encounter that made me realize the critical importance of embracing prayer as a living, breathing dialogue with God. Every word, every emotion, carried the potential to transform the mundane into the miraculous. I began to see that our everyday lives, with all their trials and triumphs, are woven into the grand tapestry of a spiritual realm, where each act of love or cruelty sends ripples far beyond our immediate perception. The revelation that Jesus was not only the Son of God, but the very embodiment of God's heart, struck me as a profound declaration of divine unity. His life, his sacrifice, and his eternal love were not distant, abstract ideals. They were the living proof of God's unending mercy, a mercy that is available to every soul willing to seek it. This understanding spurred a deep, personal transformation. I left that divine encounter with an unshakable conviction that every moment of true prayer can dissolve the barriers between the human and the divine, offering us a glimpse of the eternal light that awaits beyond the veil of mortality. Emerging from that near-death experience, I carried with me the vivid imprint of unconditional love and the memory of a consciousness projection that revealed the true interconnectedness of all life. My heart overflowed with the understanding that the pain and suffering of our earthly journey are but temporary trials, shaping us for an everlasting communion with the divine. I realized that each prayer, when offered with sincerity, acts as a bridge between our finite existence and the boundless love that sustains the spiritual realm. This life-altering vision and its profound implications urged me to live differently upon my return. I began to view every act of kindness as a testament to that divine truth, and every silent moment as an opportunity to connect with the Creator. The near-death experience wasn't just an isolated event. It was a clarion call to embrace a life steeped in genuine prayer, a life that seeks not ritual, but a direct encounter with the living God. And so, as I stand here sharing this testimony with you, I invite you to reflect on your own journey. Are you open to the possibility that your prayers can be transformed into a powerful communion with the divine? The journey towards understanding the true meaning of life after death is ongoing, and every step is illuminated by the radiant, unyielding love of God. I remember the moment I was pulled back, as if gravity itself had reclaimed me from the spiritual realm. One moment, I was immersed in a boundless ocean of unconditional love and divine light, and the next, I was back amidst the chaos of flashing emergency vehicle lights and the urgent bustle of paramedics. It was as if the near-death experience had served as a bridge between two worlds, a passage from the realm of pure consciousness projection back into the familiar confines of the physical. My body felt weak and disoriented, yet deep within, a fire had been ignited, a calling to carry the message of true prayer and the revelation of life after death. Lying there in the ambulance, I struggled to piece together the fragments of my celestial journey. I could still sense the residual glow of that indescribable light at the end of the tunnel, a beacon of hope and promise that lingered even as reality rushed back. Every heartbeat reminded me of the sacred transformation I had undergone, and every breath was now a reminder of the delicate balance between mortal existence and the eternal. I realized that my life was not an accident, but a carefully orchestrated series of moments leading to this very awakening. In the hospital room that followed, I found myself overwhelmed by a profound need to reconnect with the divine in a way that transcended rote rituals. No longer could I accept a shallow, mechanical approach to prayer. Instead, I embraced a life steeped in genuine communion with God, a conversation that went beyond words, a meeting of souls. I began to see each prayer as an invitation to tap into a power far greater than my own, a spark of divine energy that had the potential to heal, transform, and renew. I recalled the echo of Jesus' words from John 14:6, realizing that his message wasn't just historical lore, it was a living call to walk the path of truth and embrace the light of eternal love. As the days passed, my transformation deepened. I returned to my daily routine, yet everything was irrevocably changed. I found solace in quiet moments of reflection, where I could feel the lingering warmth of that spiritual realm and the steady, reassuring presence of unconditional love. My interactions with others, once casual and fleeting, now became opportunities to share that spark of hope. A reminder that every kind word, every sincere gesture sends ripples through the fabric of our shared existence. I began to truly listen, to see the divine in every face, and to offer compassion without reservation. My near-death experience had not only redefined my understanding of life after death, but had also revealed the true essence of what it means to live with purpose and connection. In my quiet moments, I would often think back to the life review I had witnessed, a vivid tapestry of every smile shared, every harsh word spoken, and every act of kindness that lit up the darkness. It was as though I had been granted a glimpse into the intricate interplay of souls, a view that made every decision, every fleeting moment, profoundly significant. This insight drove me to reevaluate the way I approached the sacred practice of prayer. No longer was it about reciting a familiar verse or going through the motions of a habit. It was about aligning myself with the divine will, about reaching out to a God who listens intently and loves unconditionally. I began to encourage those around me to explore this same depth in their spiritual lives. I spoke of the incredible possibility of experiencing a consciousness projection that goes beyond the confines of the physical, a journey into the spiritual realm where the mysteries of existence unfold with every beat of the heart. I reminded them that each of us has the capacity to encounter that transformative light at the end of the tunnel, a light that does not just signify the end, but heralds a beginning, a rebirth in the truest sense. Every day became a testament to the truth that life is far more than the sum of our earthly struggles. I immersed myself in the sacraments, finding in confession a cleansing of past hurts, and in the Eucharist a profound union with the divine. The simple act of kneeling in prayer, once a routine obligation, transformed into a vibrant, heartfelt dialogue with a Creator who is both mighty and tender. I found that by embracing this approach, the power of unconditional love began to permeate every aspect of my being, guiding my decisions, soothing my doubts, and illuminating my path. Even now, as I share this testimony, I feel the pull of that other realm, a call to remember that our connection with God is not limited by time or space, but is an ever-present reality. It is a call to live fully, to pray deeply, and to love without hesitation. And as I continue on this journey, I invite you to do the same, to seek out those moments of profound connection, and to let the light of eternal truth guide you every step of the way. In the weeks and months that followed my miraculous return, every day felt like a renewal, a rebirth of spirit that resonated with the profound lessons of my near-death experience. Each morning, as I opened my eyes to a new day, I couldn't help but recall that indescribable moment when I felt the pull of a consciousness projection that lifted me far beyond the confines of the earthly realm. The memory of that brilliant light at the end of the tunnel remained etched in my heart, a constant reminder that our existence extends well beyond what we perceive with our physical senses. I began to notice subtle changes in the way I approached life. Simple acts, a kind word, a gentle smile, a moment of silent prayer, gained new significance, imbued with the energy of unconditional love I had experienced. It was as though the spiritual realm had opened a window into the interconnectedness of all souls, teaching me that every gesture of compassion creates ripples that transcend time and space. I found myself drawn to quiet moments of reflection, sitting in the hush of early dawn or under the serene canopy of a starlit night, where I could feel that eternal presence guiding my thoughts and filling me with an overwhelming sense of purpose. This journey of transformation led me to explore the deeper dimensions of faith. I immersed myself in the sacraments, attending Mass with a heart full of gratitude and reverence, and seeking the healing power of confession to wash away the residues of past mistakes. The Eucharist in particular became a profound source of strength, a tangible reminder of the divine life that sustains us, echoing the promise of life after death. Every celebration of the Holy Mass, every recitation of the Psalms was no longer a routine, but an intimate conversation with the Creator, a dialogue steeped in sincerity and love. During those quiet hours of devotion, I often found myself reflecting on the timeless teachings of the gospel. The words of Jesus in John 14:6, "I am the way, the truth, and the life," took on an entirely new dimension for me. They were no longer abstract theological concepts, but a living promise of hope and salvation. In every trial and triumph, I sensed his guiding hand, reassuring me that no matter how arduous the journey on this earthly plane, there is a divine plan that leads us to a glorious eternity. This revelation infused my prayers with a vibrancy that I had never known, transforming them from mere recitations into heartfelt expressions of gratitude and longing for union with God. My transformation wasn't confined solely to my private moments of prayer. It overflowed into every aspect of my life. Conversations with family and friends became deeper and more meaningful, as I shared with them the insights I had gained from my encounter with the divine. I spoke of the delicate interplay between fate and free will, and how every act, no matter how small, can be a beacon of light in someone's life. I urged those around me to look beyond the surface of everyday interactions and to recognize the spiritual significance embedded in every smile, every tear, every word of comfort exchanged. In sharing my journey, I discovered that many were searching for that same sense of purpose and connection, a yearning to experience the unconditional love that binds us all together in the great tapestry of existence. I also found solace and strength in the timeless wisdom of the saints and the teachings of the Catholic Church, which echoed the eternal truth that our lives are a precious gift meant to be cherished and transformed. I realized that every moment of suffering, every trial we endure, carries within it the seed of redemption, a chance to realign our hearts with the divine will. The near-death experience had shown me that our earthly struggles are transient, that they pale in comparison to the vast reservoir of unconditional love and mercy that awaits us beyond this life. This insight urged me to live with renewed passion and commitment, embracing each day as an opportunity to manifest that divine love through acts of kindness, empathy, and genuine prayer. As I continue to walk this path, I am ever mindful of the sacred duty to be a living testimony to the truth I have encountered, a truth that transcends the boundaries of the physical and touches the core of our spiritual existence. Every step I take is a step towards a deeper understanding of life's purpose, a purpose illuminated by the promise of eternal life after death and the radiant light that guides us even in our darkest moments. The experience has taught me that true transformation comes not from fleeting moments of crisis, but from a persistent, daily commitment to living out our faith with humility and love. I invite you, dear friend, to embark on your own journey of discovery. Reflect on your prayers, examine the quiet whispers of your heart, and dare to seek out the divine connection that awaits you. Embrace the promise of a life filled with unconditional love, and let every moment be a step toward the infinite grace of our Creator. Whether you have yet to experience a consciousness projection or have felt even a hint of that eternal light, know that the spiritual realm is ever present, ready to envelop you in its transformative embrace. Trust in this divine calling, for it is the gateway to a life of purpose, joy, and everlasting communion with the one who loves you beyond measure.